how they're feeling, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So playing online is no bueno.
No, I'm not a huge fan of net play, honestly.
Yeah.
But that said, is that Mika? Is Mika in Super Turbo? I didn't know that.
Hey, Charlie, is that Mika in Super Turbo? I thought she was not new, but never really seen her before.
Yeah, they, whoa.
What do you think of these character choices here?
So most of these characters are actually very commonly seen in tournament. You see a lot of Marths.
Yeah.
Puff is a little bit less common, but still, you know, there.
I know there is some cancer with her sleeping you and then insta-gibbing you kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's a lot of setups where a lot of people don't know this, but Jigglypuff's down B actually is basically, it's a free hit for your opponent, free really strong hit. But if you hit, then it's basically a kill.
Yeah.
And there's
even at 0%?
For most characters, yeah.
Wow.
With good survival, like you can manipulate how you get hit. Kind of. It's called directional influence.
Okay.
Or DI.
Yeah. And you can like. Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's the other thing that separates Melee from most fighting games.
Direct. They have that in Brawl, not Brawl, 4 too, right?
Yeah, but it's less strong.
Okay.
It's still there. It's just not as effective. No, I mean, she's.
But so does anyone ever use not Sheik, Zelda?
Zelda, I actually believe is one of the worst characters in the game.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't really have very much movement ability. Her wave dash is really short, and her jump is slow, so it's really easy to punish. Wow, Martha's gone. And a lot of Zelda's moves are just not very good. They just don't.
Yeah, like throwing a turnip, you know?
That's Peach.
Oh, darn it.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Like Zelda's...
Oh, yeah, she's got the weird magical...
Magic stuff.
Yeah.
She spins around a lot.
Yeah.
None of it's all that good. Her forward and back airs are...
She feels like a
really
keep-away
strong.
character.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. You want to keep people at, you know, a maximum distance away from you.
Okay.
But Ness, you don't really see Ness ever, and that's one of the reasons. His up B is bad. It's difficult to use, and if your opponent is on top of it, then they can just get hit by it, and then you're done.
Oh, so like let's say they're like on the edge, and he up Bs, and they kind of jump out and take the hit, they'll fall right down.
Yeah, so you can just because the thunder projectile disappears if you get hit by it, or if someone gets hit by it. So
yeah. So they'll purposely get in the way. Okay, that makes sense.
So, in addition to that, like just like most low-tier characters, he just doesn't have very good hitboxes for the most part. He can't really combo all that effectively, and none of his throws really lead to anything. He's got a kill throw, but it does require pretty high percent. Yeah, that Ness is not making it back.
No.
And it's unfortunate.
He was not happy.
He's come for the rest. You'll see it if this Puff can pull it off. He'll try and get a.
It's possible for these comebacks, right?
It's definitely possible. Against Puff, it's so hard.
And it seems like it would be like a war of attrition type thing.
That's a good. Yeah. So the thing about Puff is, you know, Fox you can combo really well. You can.
Oh, that was.
There's
good.
the rest.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll basically instant kill anyone.
That was something that I learned in 4. Was like when they're off the platform, the guy that's on the platform has the advantage because he gets to react to whatever the guy is trying to do. So if he wants to so you have to mix it up. Like sometimes you want to grab the edge, or sometimes you want to go across it. You know, there's just tons of cool shit like that.
Yeah,
I really,
absolutely.
I like that aspect of it.
And here we've got clones versus clones. Marth and Roy obviously being from the Fire Emblem franchise, and Pikachu and Pichu being in the same
game?
Yeah, Pichu.
I did not know that.
Yeah, kind of easy to forget. The biggest aspect of Pichu's moveset
I've never
is
seen Pichu.
If you'll notice, if you'll watch Pichu's percent, every time Pichu uses one of her electricity moves, it damages her. Yeah.
Oh.
Just like in Pokemon Silver.
So is Pichu good?
No. People used to think that Pichu was literally the worst character in the game. Like,
wow.
there are 26 characters, they put Pichu at 26.
Uh-huh.
But recently, people have been, like, showing that Pichu has real options. Like, Pichu's Nair is actually very good. I'll point it out. Yeah, neutral air, sorry.
No, you're good.
It comes out fast and it hits pretty hard for, you know, a low-tier character. And Pichu's up smash is really, really strong. It's just very small.
So you gotta be dead on.
You gotta be dead on, right next to them. Pichu's recovery isn't that bad compared to most low-tier in this game. Sonic's in Brawl for the first time.
Gosh, why am I... Whatever.
But, like, Zelda can't really move.
Yeah.
Zelda gets...
she seems stiff.
Yeah, very, very stiff. That's a good way to put it.
But Pichu is not the worst character in the game. Okay.
No, Pichu can, you know, run and jump at you and
Does anyone actually play that character?
No one in, like, as their main character in tournament, but there's a lot of, like, good players that play Pichu like on the side. Not really to counterpick, but just like...
Is that a thing in this game? Counterpick?
Kind of, yeah. There's a few... You really, because of how complicated the characters are and how much time it takes to get good at them, most people play only one character.
Yeah, because I feel like matchup knowledge is like it takes a long time to, like, if you're gonna counterpick, it would take like
play Peach only against Ice Climbers, just because Ice Climbers do really well against Sheik, and Peach does really well against Ice Climbers.
That makes sense. Perfect.
And it's not all that complicated of a matchup to learn for Peach.
Okay. Just keep them out, kind of.
Yeah, you can. Okay. It's the big thing is, since there's two of them, you want to separate them and then kill one of them.
Yeah.
Because they're quite strong when they're together, but alone, not so much.
Okay.
So Peach is just really good at keeping them apart.
What about Pikachu? Is he garbage in this game?
No, Pikachu's actually pretty good. Most call him the best mid-tier or the worst high-tier.
Okay. That's respectable.
So yeah, there's one of the top 10 players in the world plays Pikachu. His name's Axe.
Okay.
One of his most famous moments was at Evo 2014. He four-stocked a guy. He didn't lose a stock in under a minute.
Wow.
In top 8, so it wasn't like some random scrub.
Dang.
He was a really good player.
Who did he four-stock?
Silent Wolf.
Okay.
He's actually kind of a local. He lives in Seattle.
Okay.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he got a lot of recognition for that.
Yeah, that probably boosted his career for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that oh my god, that was awesome. he just styled on those guys.
Style on. Yeah, okay, let's see if this Marth can bring it back.
I love Scar.
Scar's cool.
Bobby Scar, I love that guy, dude.
He's definitely a character.
He was on Excellent Adventures, and that was by far my favorite episode. And I watched the reads. I don't know if he still does that.
Yeah, they do it every once in a while. I think they're taking a break.
Okay. I watched those two just for Bobby because he's the best.
That the Roy just air dodged into the stage instead of onto the stage.
Oh no!
So he did not survive. Yeah.
Well,
Roy is one of those characters that, like, he's so close to being really good, but just a few things make him really bad.
What about Mewtwo? I've never seen Mewtwo.
Mewtwo's his tail is really big, and it's part of his hurt box.
That sucks.
So he gets hit by random things all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you'll notice, one thing about Marth is the end of his sword is the most effective part of it.
Yeah, because it does more damage, like the farther, or at the very tip.
Yeah.
There's a word for that.
Tipper. Most people just call it tipper.
Yeah, tipper.
The hitbox on the very edge.
Yeah, you got tippered or something.
Yep.
And
just there, that was a tipper forward smash.
What's the thing called when you're on the edge of the map and you're like, spiking. Yeah, spiking.
Yeah, so his down air tipper is a spike.
That is so good.
A few good setups for it. One of them is famously called the Ken combo.
The Ken combo?
A guy named Ken used it way more than everyone else. So that's where Marth's strength is. No, that was just a normal hitbox. With forward smash, you can tell when it's a tipper. It'll make this big, it won't sound like a slash. It'll sound more like a boom.
Okay, I hear you.
I'll point it out if it happens. But with Roy has all the same moves. They all have the same animations, except he has the reverse of that. So the very inside hitboxes of all of his sword moves are the most strong part, which isn't very useful.
Yeah.
Because you have to be right inside of people to get mostly the strong moves.
That makes sense.
And even then, some of his strong moves are still quite bad.
Yeah, and like it's really counterintuitive because like you want to use your range to your advantage. So it's like, but what I do with Marth in both this game and well, I haven't played this one much, but 4 was counters, dude.
Counters, counters can be good.
Oh, they can be. Okay.
But like just like in Street Fighter, that was a double tipper. He just tipped both.
Okay.
Just in Street Fighter, if you
mess
counter,
up, right? But
yeah, it totally depends on the character.
All right, so let's say you're Marth then, and you know they're gonna parry, and you want to punish it maximum.
So there's it depends on the character, but there's a lot of setups that Marth has to just get people off the stage, and Marth's strength in the meta game right now is once someone's off stage, if the Marth is really on point, then that person will not come back. They're dead. Yeah, except for like Puff. It's really hard to edge guard Puff.
Yeah, that's what I had imagined.
But like if you get a Fox off stage as Marth, there's like such a small chance that they come back. It really requires a lot of the Fox playing really well or the Marth messing something up. So if I was Marth and I got someone dead to rights on something, I would just toss them off the stage.
So when you say setups, what does that mean? Because I'm thinking Street Fighter,
It's actually quite similar.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff in this game comes from like getting out of like most of the setups are out of grab. Okay. So like Marth's big setup is on Fox. If he gets a grab and an up throw, he can on certain stages you can keep up throwing, chain grabbing, but on every stage you can up tilt and then forward air him towards the edge. And if they DI him properly, then you can then spike them.
Okay.
But if they don't, then they're way off stage. Yeah, that's it. It's definitely different than Street Fighter.
Yeah, no, but that makes sense where it's like you're putting them in the position that you. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know what's going on there.
You're putting them in the position. Well, I don't know actually. It is kind of different. But see, what I was thinking is like Toon Link laying down bombs and they drop into an area where they can't avoid it kind of thing.
Yeah, there's that kind of thing. That's definitely less common in this game. In singles, you get that kind of stuff once you get into doubles.
Okay. Doubles being team.
Yeah, 2 versus 2.
Okay.
Wow, that was pretty powerful. But for the most part, a lot of the combos in this game are dependent on how people DI. Yeah.
I know that there's some, like you said, you can throw someone up in the air and do it again like a couple times, and that's a real combo.
That's a real combo. Yeah.
But it doesn't
certain
work
characters
at higher percentages, I think.
Yeah, so you get knocked further per percentage for the most part.
Yeah.
There are some moves that have what's called set knockback. That means that at every percent it does the same knockback.
Okay.
But
what character does that? That seems really good.
It is really good. Fox's Shine, the down B, if you hit them with the hitbox instead of reflecting something at them, that's a set knockback.
Oh, okay.
So you can do some pretty silly stuff with that. And for a long time, people thought Fox was by far the best character just because of that. Okay. In addition to his, he's got good hitboxes.
His already perfect
hit
arsenal.
Yeah. But people are finding more and more ways around that as the game gets older. Yeah. So he's starting to
taper off a little bit.
He's definitely not. I wouldn't say he's strictly the best character by far.
Who's up there with him? Falcon?
Marth and Puff right now. Historically, people like Falco were also considered up there.
Dude, this guy, this Ganon is going in.
This Ganon's kind of going in.
It's awesome.
I think, characters still need some development. Captain Falcon definitely struggles with certain aspects, but if he gets an opening, then it's really hard to get away from him.
Yeah. And don't get Falcon punched.
Definitely don't get Falcon punched. It's really easy to avoid. There's also Sheik, like when the game first came out, people thought Sheik was the best character, and then quickly that changed.
Yeah.
But I think Sheik has a lot of things still to optimize.
Yeah.
About her.
Really? You'd say that there's still optimization to be done with certain characters in this game?
Just because of how.
And what kind
intense.
of optimizations are we looking at?
I just mean like getting to the peak of like robots. If there's actually an AI that someone built that
I know this name. What's
is
his
so
name?
good at winning melee that literally no one can beat it right now. No one has been able to beat it without like abusing its code somehow.
Wow.
Just playing it in a straight 1v1, like as if you're playing a human, you lose every time. So as people can approach that level of like ability and competency, then the game gets way more developed. And characters like Fox get better with that. Yoshi also gets better. Yoshi's the only character in the game with what we call a parry. It's a little bit different than other parries, but basically you can, if you shield, Yoshi's unshielding animation is still invincible. So if you time your shield so that you're unshielding as the move connects with you, then you can punish them faster than you would have.
That's crazy.
So, and we call that a parry.
And you
even
can
though
punish stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's really insane.
So yeah, there's little things like that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's really cool. I like that. So the people that are character loyalists, then they are probably why they're the top players right now, basically.
Yeah. One of the best players in the world plays like 3 or 4 characters at the top level, but he's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Most players play one and then another for some matchups that they have trouble with.
Right.
So like Armada, one of the best players in the game right now, he's a Peach main, but sometimes he'll play Fox if he's struggling with a certain if like his Peach isn't working out.
Okay.
And he'll always
do
play.
that? Can you do like like one game and then switch characters?
Yeah, so how it's a little bit different than Street Fighter. You're not locked to a character if you win as them. You just have to pick first.
Oh, okay.
And then they can counter pick you.
That's cool. I like that. That's
Yeah.
a good aspect.
It looks like we're going to get a competitive, tournament-style match. I think both of these guys are at least a little bit familiar with the community. They're both playing, top-tier characters.
Yeah.
Getting some pillar combos, that's Falco's specialty. They call it a pillar because you go up and down. His shine sends you up, and then his downer sends you straight down. And you can sort of, if you're fast enough, then you can keep doing that for a long time. Let's see how he, see. Oh, he got out of it with his own down B.
Yeah, don't mind me. Feel free to commentate to your
I mean, I was very interested in our
yeah, I like learning about the
sure.
game. I love it.
And if you have any questions about what anyone's doing or just generally, please feel free to ask.
I will.
So, I would say these two, they're obviously clones. Falco's a clone of Fox. But I think that they're the most dissimilar clones of any of them.
Well, I mean, it's kind of evident because, Falco's a lot slower, heavy hitting.
He's definitely, his down air is like the biggest. Down air and down B are the biggest changes, I think.
Are they different, moves?
They're the same animation, but very different mechanically. Fox's down air it's a bunch of multi-hits. He does that drill with his feet. And it's like a bunch of hits that are small individual hits. But Falco's down air is one
big,
stronger hit that sends you down. And it's one of Falco's most
used. Do you use that spike with Falco?
Yeah, it's a spike. And then Fox's down.
So why did he purposefully go to the edge there?
Okay, so this is something that a lot of people don't like about this game. The ledges, if you grab the ledge, you get 30 frames of invincibility. And that's, I think that mechanic is because they didn't want people to be able to edge guard quite that easily. But what it ended up doing is people discovered ways to get off the ledge really quickly. So you can actually, if you grab the ledge, you can, if you're good enough, you can get off the ledge and be on the stage doing stuff before your invincibility is gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that seems like an abusable thing.
It's very, very abusable. You'll see Puff specifically will sit on the ledge, and she can really safely jump off and re-grab it over and over again, and then the Puff will be invincible.
Was that VM? Why did he pause?
The Falco did a suicide sort of kill attack.
Okay.
And the Fox was mad about it.
Yeah, is that how you show your disdain, is by pausing?
Yeah. In that play, since you can't chat, then
yeah. One of my favorite Salt compilations was one guy was playing Snake and he like paused and started dancing.
Yep, I've seen that. Yeah, that's Professor Pro.
Yeah, that's it. And then it happened to him, and then he paused and started dancing. That shit was.
It's so funny.
I love the Salt compilation.
No, it's absolutely.
You know why GameCube controllers are so expensive? Don't hate me.
Because people throw them all the time. I get it, but it's really just because they don't make them anymore.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I mean I totally get it. And the other thing is it's very easy to make a GameCube controller like unusable for Smash. It needs to be like very tight and very nice and perfect.
Perfect buttons need to react.
Yeah, and the stick especially. But one of the most common problems with GameCube controllers is the stick will just get a bigger and bigger dead zone, and that makes it really
less reactive.
Yeah, not good for Smash at all.
You're like, I was definitely like going left there, but
yeah, it just means that you have to press it harder, and that in turn makes the dead zone bigger, and it's a vicious circle.
That makes sense.
What was I saying? So we've got a Marth on stage now, and he's moving a lot. It's not wave dashing at all, which is interesting. Marth's wave dash is the third biggest in the game because he doesn't have all that much traction, but he doesn't have. He has way more traction than Ice Climbers and Luigi. Luigi barely has any traction. But Roy, I'll show you. There's another thing about both these characters. There's two animations for running. There's the dash, which is when you first start running.
And then shield dash, right?
And then run. I mean, yeah, so you can dash out of shield if you're insanely good, and that's really, really hard to do.
Really?
But yeah, it's because
I do that all the time.
To get out of shield, you have to either jump or just let go. In Melee, it's really hard to find the timing to let go of shield and then dash on the first frame that you're able to.
Oh, so it's like a one frame.
Yeah, optimally it's a one frame thing.
That's cool.
But if you'll notice, the dash animation, they don't move their feet for like a full second almost. So they're just like, it looks like they have rocket boots or something.
Oh, for sure. Okay.
So they're like, they can dash back and forth. For a really wide range. So they can move in and out of your range really.
So can you do that to like bait a move and then punish them for it?
Yeah, that's the biggest use of what's called dash dancing.
Oh, dash dancing. Okay.
Where you dash, and then before your dash turns into a run, you can dash the other direction. And then you can just do that forever. And these two characters have really big dashes.
See, when he's shielding and then doing that, that's shield dashing, isn't it?
No, that's rolling.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit. It depending on the character. There's vulnerability frames before and after. For characters like Puff, the vulnerability frames are really small, so you'll see Puff's spot dodge a lot and roll. But characters like Falcon, Captain Falcon gets, I think, 10 frames on either side of a roll where he's vulnerable. So it's really not good.
Not a good thing to do.
His roll is quite bad.
Yeah. Okay. Earlier, he was he started charging up, I think, one of his smashes, side smash or something, and he caught him trying to like jump up to the ledge, but he didn't grab the ledge, and he just died. Was he trying something there? What
so unlike later iterations of this game, if you're recovering from below You don't
and jumping up. To
you don't snap onto the ledge.
Oh.
You can go past it
Okay,
with your
okay.
recovery if.
And is that a thing that you do on purpose?
It can be. For the most part, you really want to
Grab the ledge.
hit that sweet spot
Yeah.
right above. You know, you're gonna like. This is the grab range. You want to be right here.
Okay.
So as low as possible while still grabbing the ledge.
Okay. Because you don't want to show your hitbox.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit by Mars forward smash, for instance.
Okay.
And that just takes a lot of practice to get good at, just because of how variable the distances can be.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this game it feels like a spacing and knowing what your opponent does.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like
The game.
most of the game, yeah.
For
And
sure.
once you get good at that, once you like understand distances and what your opponent can do and how to interact with them, you know, the neutral, then the next huge part of the game is getting solid punishes, because it's not like you can sit in the lab and practice a guaranteed combo really that works on everyone.
I was just thinking about this while you were talking about that. I was gonna say, so I know smashes you can punish. Can you punish smashes, like block smashes with another smash?
Yeah, so
Is
certain
it specific because of frames and stuff?
Yeah, there's some. I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly everything, all the specific frame data.
Right.
But certain moves, when they connect with other moves, they'll either trade, where both players get hit, or they'll clank, where the animation ends, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So like,
but if you block one, if you block a smash,
then you've got a little bit of time before they're recovered
to punish. And what would be, like, you would just want to smash A and then, or
there? I mean, a lot of people like grab, just because grab leads to so much in this game.
Does it?
Yeah, most characters have really, really solid combos out of getting a grab.
Okay, so that's pretty much the go-to then, I would assume, is grab.
For the most part, yeah. There's actually a common like new player thing is to shield grab. Since grab is a macro, the Z button is actually just a macro of A and R in this game. If you're holding R, you can just mash A, and then on the next available frame, it'll grab directly out of shield. So it's pretty good if you know what your opponent's going to do.
Right.
But just sitting there in shield, waiting for them to swing at you and get a grab is really easy to punish and play around. For better players.
Right. Yeah, they've seen it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really, really common thing for new players to do because of how effective getting a grab is.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I never really used, well, I can't say I didn't, but like just the regular A button, like it's like attacks, like every character's just normal attack.
Yeah.
Are those, do they get used a lot?
Yeah, so they're obviously not like very commonly used for killing people, finishing people off or anything.
But it's good for attacking on the damage?
Yeah. The most common thing I think you'll see being used is aerial attacks, which is like you can use them with both the A and a direction in the air or the C stick and a direction in the air. And those are like, just because of how much you can move in the air and you have a double jump. And
how much space I'm sure those moves cover. Because you're doing it 360 instead of like just the ground area.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. So those are most commonly used. Some characters, like Luigi specifically, has a lot of really solid ground moves that he'll use to get openings. But for the most part, like Falcon, almost all of his ground moves are like very bad and situational. But his aerials are like some of the best aerials in the game. His up air comes out on frame like 4 or 5, really, really fast. And it leads into itself. So you can get a bunch of up airs in a row. His neutral air is also like, you can neutral air and then his knee, which is like famously strong.
Oh my god.
You can neutral air into knee really on a lot of the characters. Stomp.
Like that? Oh my god.
That was a grounded stomp, which sends them straight up, and there's so much knockback that Falcon can jump up and hit them at the knee.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a combo. Then.
That's
A real
one of
combo.
the few like true fighting game style combos
That's cool.
that
I like
exist
that.
in this game.
I like it.
That Captain Falcon right there was running back and forth
Yeah.
on the
Wave
opposite side of
dancing.
That's dash dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
dash dancing.
The terminology in this game is so hard to. I think we should. I mean, it's too late to change, but
I just find the way you guys call casuals friendlies.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I think that's because in Smash, casuals mean people that play the game casually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
you
doesn't
guys-
really exist in the same way in fighting games. Like, there's definitely people that play the game casually, but there's not like a completely different rule set of
Yeah.
Street Fighter for
Yeah.
casual players.
That's true. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's the same game. Everyone's playing the same game.
Mm-hmm. You,
But,
you
but
on
in
opposite
Melee-
sides of the screen,
Yeah.
and you hit each other until your life bar's gone.
Exactly.
But in Melee, like, you
It's-
can do coin battle or
Yeah, yeah,
time or stamina. You
Have
can turn
they
on or
ever
off
done
items.
anything other than 1v1s, like in tournaments and
Yeah,
stuff?
there's doubles tournaments.
Doubles,
at
yeah.
Basically every.
But what
Major.
about anything besides that? No.
Never free for all. No, there's too many.
Variables.
I would say game killing strategies
Oh.
in free for all.
How? Like what?
Like
Oh, well, Jiggly just. doing-
Jigglypuff can just fly away. Characters
Let
like
them kill each other.
Peach.
Uh-huh.
Peaches. I don't know if you've seen Peach's down smash in action, but
I-
it's probably one of the strongest moves in the game.
Yeah.
So it's she spins around on the ground, and her dress goes out and it hits around her dress on both sides of her. Each of the hits, it's like 8 to 10 hits or something. Each of them does like 12%, and the hitbox, it's on the edge. So like, this is Peach. The hitbox over here leads to the hitbox over here. So if you don't DI right, then you'll get hit by every hit,
Holy
and
shit.
that's actually 100% damage.
Does it not? Could it kill you? By or it doesn't
Yeah.
have that much?
It does kill you.
Oh wow.
It's so strong.
Wow. So
Like
that's-
imagine Ice Climber's down smash or Mario's down smash, where it hits on both sides of them a bunch of times, and each hit sends them to the other hit.
Oh my god. I'm thinking Marth with his down smash where he goes both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
But it
It keeps you in it.
I don't know if you saw, but the Ice Climbers was doing. I'll point it out if you saw. If he does it again, but Ice Climbers have a very unique ability. It's another one of the only. Yeah, he was trying to do it right there. One of the only combos in the game. It's called wobbling because the guy who made it is named Wobbles.
Okay.
But since there's two of them, one can grab and the other one
you can alternate and keep
can-
it out going almost infinitely, right?
infinitely. You
Yeah.
can do it forever.
And wow, that's cheap.
It's quite. Nobody
But
likes
it's
it.
but it's specific.
It's specific to Ice Climbers, yeah.
Well, how do you just what? How do you do it? Just grab somebody?
So it's actually a little bit trickier than it looks because you have to have the Ice Climbers doing two different things
Oh.
forever.
Okay.
But once you get it started, it's really just maintaining a rhythm.
Yeah.
So how you do it is the main Ice Climber, usually it's Popo, gets a grab. That's the one you're controlling. And then the one that's mimicking you, since it's not grabbing someone, it has a different moveset available to it.
Okay.
So when you're grabbing, you can throw them in any direction or pummel them. Those are your only options. So you can pummel. If you press A,
The first one will do it.
The
and
first
then
one-
the second one will do it.
yeah, so the first one will pummel. And that second one, since they're not grabbing anything, they'll just do a normal hit.
Okay.
And if you do it at the right timing,
you can do it.
you can do it infinitely, and they never get out of the grab.
Huh.
We'll see if he does it again.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of.
remember a dude just getting hit by that, and he just gave up. He just paused. He just
Yeah, this game is over. It should have been over anyway. There's nothing you can do to get out of it.
Wow.
It's for a long time, certain tournaments banned it because they thought it was
I
dumb.
wouldn't think you should do that.
So, yeah, there's a lot of actually argument about this. Nobody really likes it, but Ice Climbers aren't really that good. Like,
well,
they are good. No, they're decent. They're definitely like, but without this technique, they can't really do anything.
okay.
And even with this technique, they're still like
Mid-tier.
not top 5.
Okay.
So no one,
Yeah, but
no
it's
one's
like
really
an
winning.
instant death.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really not fun.
And it seems easy enough to get. All you have to do is basically grab the person.
that getting the grab can be harder than you
Okay,
think.
okay.
There are players that never get grabbed. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Okay. Because
And
you can tech them, right?
You can't tech them. You can
So-
spot dodge them.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's down.
Down and shield.
Okay. Yeah. I was
Um,
getting good at in 4 at spot dodging in the air because I would just get fucked up. So I had to learn to start. And it's the cool thing about it. It's like always a read, like because you can get punished for it. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spot dodging.
Yeah, spot dodge is definitely a read. That's a good way to put it. As against ice climbers, I think they're the most common character that people time out because you just never want to run at them like without thinking about it. So a lot of people just I'll just not approach, and ice climbers don't really have good approach options. So you can just swat them away for 8 minutes, and then that's the game.
Try to time them out.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Is that a game plan for some people? Like, okay, I'm gonna go in this
Rarely,
and try to time out.
Rarely.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You have to be. What'll happen most often is the person trying to time someone out will get caught out too many times and won't have a lead. You can only win a timeout if you have a lead. Just like it's a health lead, just like in Street Fighter.
So what people want to do is get a quick lead and then turtle.
Turtle, yeah, as much as you can. But what commonly happens is that person isn't able to maintain the lead,
Yeah.
or their opponent gets more and more desperate to get an opening and just dies before 8 minutes is up.
Yeah. That makes sense. But see, that's the thing. That's the problem with the keep away mind state. It's like you're not actively looking at how to get your offense started, which. And I don't know in a game like this, but that can cause mistakes, and you can lose because of it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I try to just always stay on the offensive, and I guess in a way, but I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, and this game really lends itself to aggressive play. If you're not being aggressive, then for the most part, you're not going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because you're thinking about your next move. You're not thinking about what your opponent's going to do, which, I don't know. They both have their merits.
For sure.
But I've had fun. I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Connor.
Home run contest. Ready? Fight! 4. Home run contest. Ready? Home run contest. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Ready?
And Randy smashes my record completely with Yoshi. All right, we're going with Link next. For those of you just joining us, this is Smash at Rose City Comic Con. We're part of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo Retro Arcade, which includes us as well as Ground Control, which has some really sick swag from their video game bar, and of course our friends at Endgame TV and Battle Lounge. We are going to be doing a Smash Bros. Melee tournament tomorrow alongside a Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo tournament. So you definitely want to be watching this space to see that, because we'll have some of the greatest players from the Portland metro area, as well as a lot of challengers. We've already had dozens of folks come through saying they're going to come in and play. We've never seen them before, and we're interested to see how they're going to compete. Currently, we're just doing a little bit of funny tongue-in-cheek home run derby here on Melee. Just saw a pretty fun run with Yoshi, and looks like Randy's going to be working with Link now, trying to figure out the strat. We also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Eon, who create the GACHD, which, for those of you who don't know, basically takes the digital GameCube signal and converts it over to an HDMI signal to use on your flat panel. So we thank them for sending out several units for us to test this weekend at Rose City Comic Con, and for a single unit to be given out as a prize to first place tomorrow at the Melee tournament. If you're interested in either one of those tournaments, the Street Fighter 2 or the Melee, there's a special gaming-only badge that Rose City Comic Con has worked out with us. It only costs $15. If you get that badge, or if you have a weekend or a day badge, the tournament itself is free. So if you want to see Portland's premier pop culture convention here in Oregon, definitely come out today, tomorrow, and Sunday at the Oregon Convention Center. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo arcade here at Rose City Comic Con. My name is TJ Stinson, and we are in the tournament area, which features Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo this weekend. We'll be hosting both events tomorrow with a neat and tidy cash purse, in addition to 8 free badges that pass you into the top bracket of the corresponding tournaments at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. changing over to Bowser now. See what the big guy can do.
Ready? 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 Home run contest. You two. Ready? Ready? Fight! Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Home run contest. Ganondorf. Ready? 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 Fight! 4, 3. Ready? Home run contest. Beach. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, he just broke a new record there. For those of you just joining us, this is Smash at Rose City Comic-Con, hosting the Portland Retro Gaming Expo Retro Arcade. We are joined here this weekend by Ground Control, In-Game TV, and Battle Lounge, in addition to RGE.
Ready?
Bring a little bit of what we do at Portland Retro Gaming Expo to the community here at Rose City.
4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Dr. Mario. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready?
If you're still interested in getting in to both Smash at Rose City Comic-Con and Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo at Rose City Comic-Con, there is a gaming-only badge for $15 you can pick up at admissions to come in and play tomorrow. The only entry fee is the badge. And so if you get a day badge or a weekend badge or that specific gaming badge, you come on in and compete for the 8 free PRGE badges in addition to a small price purse of cash for the top 3.
Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? 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 Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1.
Samus hits weird.
Home run contest. Zelda. Ready? Ready?
Yeah!
Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? 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 Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Ready? Home run contest. Ready? 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 Ready?
Falcon Punch! Falcon Punch!
Ready? Fight! 4, 3. Ready? Fight! 4, 3. Ready? Ready? Fight! Ready? Fight! Ready? 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 Fight! Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Pikachu. Ready? Fight! 4. Ready? Fight! 4, 3. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Pichu. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Roy. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Young Link. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2. Ready? Fight! 4, 3. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2. Kirby. Ready? 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 Fight! 4. Ready? Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Donkey Kong. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Climbers. Ready? Fight! Home run contest. Luigi. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Fight! 4, 3, 2, 1. Home run contest. Luigi. Break the targets. Link. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! A new Ready? Go! 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 Break the targets! Ganondorf. Ready? Go! 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 Ready? Go!
For those of you just joining us, this is Smash at Rose City Comic Con here in the Portland Metro Gaming Expo Retro Arcade. We're joined here by Ground Control, Endgame TV, Battle Lounge, and of course Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Today is a free play day ahead of our 2 major tournaments this weekend at Rose City Comic Con. Smash at Rose City, which will have a strong melee bracket, and a lot of Portland's finest are going to come out and compete for 8 free badges and a small cash purse, with top cut passes into Portland Gaming Expo's tournament this next month. The same goes for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which will pit some of Portland's finest FGC players for similar prizes. If you wanted to get in on this action, it's still not too late. You can either buy a weekend or day pass for Saturday, or a special gaming pass that Rose City Comic Con is created for us is only $15. If you come on in with a valid badge tomorrow, Saturday, that is your entry into these tournaments. We're also doing a rolling semi.
Ready? Ready? Go! 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 Pikachu. Ready? Go! Break the target. Ready? Go! Break the target. Ready? Go! Break the target. Pichu. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Break the target. Ready? Go! Break the target. Ready? Go! 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 Break the target. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Break the target. Ready? Ready? Go! 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 Break the target. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go!
For those of you just joining us, this is Smash at Rose City Comic Con. Tonight is just some free play warm-up before tomorrow's big tournament that'll bring out some of Portland and Oregon's best and brightest to compete for 8 free Top Cut Pass badges to Portland Metro Gaming Expo. We're going to have a large cash pool tournament this next month. All right.
We're just leaving that one out there.
Technical difficulties for one moment here. Anyway, yes, so we're at Rose City Comic Con, Portland's largest pop culture convention. If you want to come out for the tournament tomorrow to spectate or to play, there's a special gaming badge. It's only $15 to get you into our arcade as well as a tabletop arcade here at Rose City Comic Con. We are proudly sponsored this weekend by Portland Retro Gaming Expo, Ground Control, Endgame TV, Battle Lounge, and of course, we are Epic Gaming here from Milwaukee, Oregon. Anyway, we'll go right back here.
All-Star.
Looks like
Circle. Ready? Go.
our Tio Contra is going to do some All-Star mode here. Hey, Connor, can you turn music back on? One second here. Thank you. I'll get back in there. Falco, your player.
All-Star. Ready? Go.
All right, we move to All-Star mode, which is kind of a special one-player mode here in Melee. Walter's going to play Falcon out of the gate. Yeah, if you want to have a lot of fun this weekend, definitely come on down here to Rose City Comic Con. We have a fantastic pinball retro arcade full of arcade cabinets, as well as dozens of different casting systems from the old ColecoVision, Commodore PETs, Atari 2600, Nintendo Entertainment System, etc., all the way up to modern consoles and PlayStation 4. We will be hosting the Smash Brothers Melee tournament, as well as the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo tournament tomorrow here. And both are going to be here streamed in this space. So definitely don't miss that. That'll start around noon tomorrow.
Ready? Go. Ready? Go.
If you enjoy General Melee, we definitely stream this most Sundays from our home base at Epic Gaming in Milwaukee, Oregon. You can follow all of our updates by following your favorite social media platform at Epic Gaming PDX. That's EPIC GAMING. P is in Paul, D is in David, X is in X-Ray. To follow us and to get more Melee content.
All stop. Ready? Ready? Go! Ready? All stop. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Continue. Game over. Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go!
Falcon Punch!
Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Young Link. Fox. Ready? Go!
Falcon Punch!